Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. There's lots of wild news stories and rumors to get to, so let's not waste any time. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including Smackdown's ratings, Paige stands up for women's wrestling, AEW loses its UK TV, Sammy Guevara's freak accident, a fun Cody Rhodes story about The Undertaker, the WWE redesigns another title belt, where Seth Rollins wants to fight CM Punk, and more. Smackdown ratings down. The last Smackdown before the Rumble dipped a bit in the ratings, with the blue brand only pulling in 2,470,000 viewers compared to the previous week's 2,580,000. Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online reporting, the number is down 4% from last week. The show opened with 2.548 million viewers in the first hour, but fell to 2.391 million in the second hour, a drop of nearly 6%. It was the lowest number SmackDown had done in the last 3 weeks, but was over their 10-week rolling average. SmackDown has been producing some excellent shows, and Friday was no exception. Whether this was an anomaly remains to be seen. One disturbing area was that, in the demos, the show averaged 0.4 in 18 to 34, down 20% from last week. In 18 to 49, they were down 13%, averaging 0.7. Both numbers match the lowest the show has done since debuting on Fox in October. Traditionally, post-pay-per-view shows get a bump in the rating, so SmackDown's creative team would be wise to book an exceptional show with more viewers. What have you thought of SmackDown over the last month? Do you think the blue brand needs to change anything? More Royal Rumble surprises? Could the WWE have another big surprise for this year's Men's Royal Rumble? Consider this story from PW Insider's Mike Johnson. The Undertaker was spotted in Houston, Texas this afternoon, so he is in town for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Whether he appears remains to be seen. Mark Henry and Christian are also in Houston for the pay-per-view. The Undertaker would definitely add some excitement to the event, even if he doesn't compete in the Rumble itself. With the WWE's Saudi Arabia show coming up in February, it's possible Taker is there to set up an angle for a match at the show. AEW loses TV in the UK. While AEW is thriving in the United States, its situation hit a bump in the road recently when ITV Box Office, which was airing AEW programming, ceased service. According to ITV Box Office's site, the ITV Box Office service has ceased as of 24th January 2020. There are no further plans to show any future events on this channel. However, UK fans do have a new option, as Fight TV tweeted, "International AEW fans, AEW Wrestling's weekly show Dynamite is coming to Fight TV. Fight is also introducing AEW Plus, a subscription service that will allow you to see every weekly show for $4.99 a month. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan." Given AEW's popularity, it's not a surprise someone moved in to offer the programming, even if it's for a monthly fee. AEW New Jersey show nearly sold out. While AEW Dynamite hasn't sold out some of its recent events, it looks like its upcoming show at the Prudential Center in New Jersey could be a sellout. According to Diamond Dave Meltzer, the event sold 10,000 tickets for the 25th March show on its first day. As noted by Ringside News, AEW is still looking to book an event in New York City. Is the WWE blacklisting wrestlers working in AEW? While the majority of WWE wrestlers are locked under contract, there are still free agents like WWE Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page who can work wherever they wish. Recently, DDP, who recently wrestled a six-man tag on Dynamite, was asked whether the WWE blacklists wrestlers who work for AEW. The Master of the Diamond Cutter tweeted, "There is some belief that those who work with AEW are blacklisted by WWE, but that isn't the case. I want to be able to help Cody with whatever he needs, but if WWE needs something from me, then I'm always there for them." While Wrestlelamia believes Paige, it'll be interesting to see how wrestlers currently working for AEW fare should they decide to work in the WWE. This is a situation that could prove interesting in the next few years. Paige speaks up for women's wrestling. As for another, former WWE Divas champion Paige recently spoke with Sportskeeda, with one of the topics being how women's wrestling is still looked down upon by some fans. Paige commented on criticism of the women's triple threat at 2019's Survivor Series. It wasn't even a bad match, but that's just how the world works. We still have a long way to go being women in a male-dominated industry. We got the opportunity to have an all-female main event and people weren't happy with it. Becky is absolutely right, and she'll continue to be right. There has to be change. Kind of like jokes on the internet. There has to be change. You can't make jokes about women like that anymore. Apparently, Paige's remark about not making sexist jokes doesn't apply to WWE Executive Vice President Triple H. During her interview, Paige also discussed how CM Punk helps her with her work on WWE Backstage. "He's so wonderful. I respect him. I didn't get to talk to him until he came back, which was a big surprise for me. I marked out. He's very respectful and he helps. He guides you. Like, when it comes to production meetings, he's like, maybe you can say this or that." Considering the cast on WWE Backstage, their pre-show meetings are likely very lively with the various personalities involved. Ahead of Worlds Collide, Triple H and NXT GM William Regal present Angel Garza with the newly designed NXT Cruiserweight Championship. With more fans collecting belts, it's no surprise the WWE has redesigned several title belts of late. What do you think of this new design? Be sure to leave your comments below. Seth Rollins comments on what venue he'd like to fight CM Punk at. Seth Rollins hasn't let up on his talk about fighting CM Punk sometime in the future. The Houston Chronicle's Nick Talbot interviewed Rollins, asking him whether he'd want to fight Punk at WrestleMania. "It would not have to be a WrestleMania, and as far as wanting a match, yes, absolutely with CM Punk." Rollins pointed out that Punk seems happy appearing on WWE Backstage, but noted, if he wants to get back into the ring and show that he's more than just a critic and that he can actually back up what he is saying, then I would love to be the guy to get in there and have the match, and I think WrestleMania would be the proper stage for it. But I don't think it has to happen at WrestleMania. I think that match is bigger than any one event, and so if he were to ever come back, we could do it anytime, any place, and it would sell out wherever. Rollins does bring up a good point that the match wouldn't have to happen at Mania, as it could turn any event into a must-see show, something WrestleMania usually does just by being the showcase of the Immortals. The interview was also an interesting look at Rollins' personal life, with the Monday Night Messiah discussing how he discovered he had a brother and sister he never knew, and his engagement to Becky Lynch. Rollins also mentioned his coffee shop and his wrestling school. Rollins is one busy man. Sammy Guevara loves his fans. Although Sammy Guevara plays a heel, he has no problem interacting with fans and doesn't understand why some wrestlers refuse to acknowledge the fans. During an appearance on Wrestling Observer Radio, Guevara commented, "All these people on this boat, the Chris Jericho cruise, they're like, I don't want to bother you, can we get a picture?" I'm like, yeah, of course, that's what we're here for. It kind of blows my mind when I see people who are kind of rude to fans, or they think that they're a star. I'm like, dude, there's a lady at Starbucks who doesn't know who the fuck you are. Like, level yourself, you know? It's good to see wrestlers giving back to the fans during special events like the Jericho Cruise. Freak accident sidelined Sami. Speaking of AEW's Spanish God, Guevara's match against Jon Moxley on the recent Jericho Cruise was cancelled due to a bizarre injury. During his chat with the Wrestling Observer Live, Guevara explained what transpired. "You know, how do I do all this crazy stuff, shooting stars, Spanish fly, 630, and then I walk away unscathed? But then going to the back and taking off my wrestling shoe last Wednesday, it was very, very tight, it was in a knot, and I couldn't get it out of the knot. I just kind of forced it off, and something inside my ankle just kind of pulled a little bit. I was like, ow, that hurt a little bit, but then no problem." However, it turned out to be a problem, as a couple of days later, I feel it a little bit more, and then I feel it a little bit more. Then the day of the cruise, I wake up at the hotel and I'm like, oh, I can't walk on it. It's all swollen and I'm limping around. Of course, it's the day I'm supposed to wrestle, and wrestle almost every day. It's incredible that a seemingly harmless maneuver could lead to a wrestler missing time from the ring. Mandy Rose re-ups with WWE. It looks like Mandy Rose is happy with her WWE career. Rose and Fire and Desire partner Sonya Deville recently appeared on Bradley Martin's YouTube channel, and during their workout session, Rose discussed how she'd just signed a new 5-year deal with the WWE. Wrestlelamia will keep you posted as the details emerge. Cody Rhodes recalls Rumble rub from The Undertaker. While it's been several years since Cody Rhodes competed in the WWE, he still remembers the night The Undertaker gave him the rub during Cody's first Rumble match. Rhodes recently appeared on Inside the Ropes to share his story. Cody, working as a babyface at the time, was in the ring battling when The Undertaker came out, with Rhodes punching Taker, expecting to get beat down. Cody recalled, "All of a sudden he goozles me. I think I'm going up. He says, 'Kick me in the knee.' I kick him in the knee, he lets his hand go, and he goes, 'Drop kick me.' I jump up, drop kick him, and he takes a bump. You can see I didn't know what to do. The goal is to get the guy out of the match, but I'm not going to pick him up." Cody must have been starstruck based on his next move. "So I just go over to the corner and I start fake punching somebody. But man, after that, Taker was God to me. Everything about this guy is giving back. He absolutely did not need to do that. Plus, I stiffed the hell out of him. I love The Undertaker." This is one of many stories Wrestlelamia has mentioned of The Undertaker helping out young stars, and we're certain this is just one of many. Dynamite announces 3 matches for 29th January show. With the Wednesday Night War still going strong, AEW is leaving nothing to chance, especially after NXT gained some ground when Dynamite aired a pre-taped show. This week's Dynamite has 3 matches already announced, with Ringside News reporting Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz will face Darby Allin and Private Party in a 6-man tag team match next week. The Young Bucks will take on The Butcher and The Blade. Cody will also face Kip Sabian in a singles match next week. With NXT and Dynamite going head-to-head with live shows, do you think NXT will keep the viewers it picked up last week, or perhaps even overtake Dynamite in the ratings? The WWE would do well if it involved NXT in the Royal Rumble, possibly spiking interest in the black and gold brand. Well guys, there you have it, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. What did you think of these wild stories? Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.